Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and today I'd like to share with you on financial abuse and money trauma, especially in the spectrum of narcissistic relationships. You see, like, money is a great control tool, but when it's involved in an abusive relationship, it's taken a notch higher. Financial abuse is this systematic behavior where someone uses money or any other financial asset to control or harm another person. It is also called money abuse, and it's mostly used in narcissistic relationships where the narcissist will exert excessive control on their partner's finances while disregarding their well-being. This kind of control will give them an upper hand in continuing their continuous torment and torture while meeting their selfish needs. Just like all other forms of emotional abuse, it leaves the victim feeling depressed, isolated, and hopeless. And the effects of this financial abuse can lead to something called money trauma, which will also be evident even when the victim leaves that narcissistic relationship. Financial trauma or money trauma is the emotional response to an event or series of events around money. This form of money abuse is just another form of manipulation, and it happens so subtly and insidiously that you may not even notice till you reach the deep end of the tunnel, where you may find yourself in huge debt or without even any cent in your pockets to even meet the basic needs. That's how far this financial abuse can go. And some common warning signs of financial abuse in a toxic relationship are things like your partner taking control of all your earnings and then probably giving you an allowance, forcing you to take a loan in your name, forging your signature on financial documents without your consent, selling your property or your possessions without your consent, or things like shaming you on your spending while praising their superior spending habits, or things like not providing you with enough finances, especially if you are a stay-at-home parent. Things like also a very strict budget in such a way that even if you go over the budget, you are not getting any extra. It's just like this general stinginess with money. And then also like freezing your finances, especially when you need them to meet your basic needs like even health or food. Other things are like insurance frauds, or just coercing you into debt and then leaving you with a ruined debt score. Another thing can be something like changing passwords in joint accounts so that they can solely control that joint account without your consent. So it's just anything which involves using money to make your life hard, or using your assets to make your life hard. Those are just but a few signs of financial abuse in narcissistic relationships. It's more like you find yourself in situations where your assets are used as a form of control, or it gives someone superior control over you. One thing to note is that when you try to question the narcissist with regards to their spending habits, they will of course verbally and emotionally attack you. Not the same way as when they shame you. Narcissists also use financial abuse so that they can make it hard for you to leave that relationship, because it will mean that you will lack these financial assets to do so. In fact, like, the main reason why people find it hard to leave a narcissistic relationship is because of their lack of financials. Because if someone does not have the finances, it means that they cannot fend for themselves and they love to be dependent on the narcissist. So it's just the perfect control mechanism. So financial abuse to a narc is more like that final key they will hold that prevents you from escaping. So how do you respond to financial abuse in a relationship? Of course, the response to financial abuse in relationships will vary, because in some situations you might not be having a job, in some situations you have a job, in some situations you have like joint account or joint businesses or joint credit cards. So it will vary. But if there's one thing you can do is to first like start setting up small boundaries with regards to finances. You can do things like opening a new secret personal account where you can save a little for yourself. You can also consolidate your assets as you plan your way out of the relationship, because ultimately the best way is out of the relationship. But you can start slowly by slowly, just planning your way out and consolidating your assets. Consolidating your assets here means like things like freezing your credit cards or changing your passwords so that they cannot ruin your credit score any further, or taking note of your current financial status, or just anything related with salvaging the finances you might be having a grip on. Just knowing your financial status in a way. It may also, if you don't have a job, it may also be the perfect time to look for a job or do that online course as you plan your way out. Also, one thing to note is that the narcissist will not allow you to do this, like to do these things like open an account or do an online course, because that will make you dependent. So if you are planning on doing these things while still in that relationship, at least do it in such a precautionary way, in such a way that they're not aware of it. Remember, like the goal is to always leave that relationship so that you can find peace in life. But at times you may be in this gray area where it's still hard for you to live, or you don't have the finances to live. Even if you don't have the finances to live, that's where now you take these steps of starting to build your finances slowly by slowly as you plan your way out. So, what are the effects of financial abuse? The effects of financial abuse can be so detrimental, as you may develop these unconscious beliefs related to money even long after you've left the relationship. Financial abuse, as we've said before, leads to money trauma, and you may develop some self-sabotaging behaviors when it comes to spending your own finances, or when it comes to managing your own finances. These beliefs can be things like money is evil because money was used as a tool of manipulation. The other belief is I'm bad with money because you are constantly called out on your spending and on your budget. Another belief is something like I don't deserve more money, or money is a very scarce resource. This is because the narc was so stingy with a strict budget that you had to really track each and every cent, so you are really afraid of spending. Those are just like some of the few beliefs you can develop as a result of money abuse in a narcissistic relationship. When you live life with these deeply rooted beliefs you've got as a result of money abuse, you may find yourself engaging in habits like one, overspending, like where you engage in shopping addiction, you're just a shopaholic, or you spend the money you don't have as a form of self-soothing or a distraction from the stress. Two is underspending. You'll be a bit stingy to even your own needs, or afraid to invest because you fear it might run out. Then the third one is avoidance. You'll be so terrified to check your balances, bills, or avoiding any talk on finances, because that talk on finances will make you feel very anxious. So you better avoid it. The last thing you'll do is, the fourth one is, you'll lack financial boundaries. This is where like you'll be uncomfortable when it comes to setting any limits or standards when it comes to finances. So you might find yourself giving loans to a friend that hardly pays back, or you might find yourself giving excessively, or you might find yourself undercharging for your services. This is because you are not used to it, and you are not used to managing your money because of what happened to you in the past. So those are just a few examples of the signs of financial trauma, where you may find yourself engaging in financial habits you are not even aware of where they originated. So like the effects of narcissistic abuse cuts across many areas in our lives, some of which we might even not be aware of. This is why you need a healing modality which has to work in such a way that it can access the deeper levels of your consciousness, so that you are able to transform those limiting beliefs that keep you stuck. Because those limiting beliefs you have with regards to money are what determines how you spend your money presently, because limiting beliefs determine your actions. So that's why you need to transform those limiting beliefs, instead that you don't now live life from the perspective of the past, but you are able to live life more presently and have a healthy relationship with your finances. That's why with my clients, I use tools called like a mind shifting, which really works really fast in transforming these beliefs. So hope you found this informative, guys. Share your thoughts, and until next time, see ya.